Today we've come up near Aberdeen to a place called Peterhead, or Peterhead if you're from Peterhead. We've come to see Mr. Stuart Cowie.
It's me. You're watching Pro307. This episode's lit. Can you drift an RX-8? Nah.
We first saw Stuart running SDC in this, and we have come up to ask him a whole bunch of questions and to peruse his collection of spare wheels and to ask him dumb questions. In fact, I think right now there is a dumb question happening.
We're rumbled.
What are you looking at? Well, first of all, hi Stuart.
Hello.
This is where I basically live.
Out here, yeah. But this is nice though. You got a good setup.
Yeah.
It's a little untidy. You couldn't have tidied before we came here. Like what's happening here?
I tried.
I like that you've at least you've stacked your wheels up. So that's important. He stacked up his wheels and spare drive shafts. Why do you have drive shafts on the floor, Stuart?
I thought it was something that was going to probably break, but it's about the only thing I haven't broken. Gearboxes, clutches, engines. The only thing I haven't really broken is drive shafts. So.
Well, I wouldn't think you would be breaking an engine, because this thing we've heard it already, but this has got the RB26 in it.
It has got. It's got the.
There's a strong smell of RB26 at the front of it, which we like a lot. And first of all, for the uninitiated, I'm going to guess what this is, and you'll tell me how wrong I am. I'm guessing that this is a Nissan S14 with an RB26 with a GTR rear end, but the headlights are wrong.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
How close did I get?
No, you're on it. You're on it. Yeah.
Is that absolutely right?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Is that exactly what it is?
Is it? Yeah.
GTR rear end as well?
back end, yeah.
That's it. Thanks for watching. We've been Stuart and Paul from vPerformance.
We have been.
What did you buy this, first of all? Like, what did you buy it as? Did it start like this?
It didn't. No, it already had the RB in it.
I'm gonna. Can I lean on that?
Yeah, you lean away, my friend.
So it had the RB in it.
It had the RB in it, but that's about it. It was a S14a, so it still had the original bodywork on it. It didn't have any fenders. It didn't have any fiberglass. It's basically a standard-looking car.
Because the fenders, because it's got over fenders put on already.
Yeah.
We'll come and see them a bit closer later on. But what's the A? The S14a.
So there was two models. There was like the 96, which is like smaller kind of square headlights.
Yes.
Then they did a facelift like they do in most cars in a couple of years. This is a 98. So when they facelifted that, it was a different bonnet, different headlights and different wings.
So I thought that what had happened here was that this was in fact, can you come and I'll show you the headlights, I'll point at them, right? And then I'm going to have all manner of questions about this car, because I'm pretty useless at Jap. So I'm pretty useless at German as well. Right, I thought these were off an S15.
They are, yes.
They are.
This is what they call a strawberry face conversion.
So that's original factory S15 lights?
Yes.
So what do you need to do in order to get those on then?
So you've got conversion wings, so the wings convert the front end of the car. Because the chassis are so similar, 14, 14A and 15, you can actually put the 15 front end on an S14.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You bought the S14 facelift, and then you facelifted the facelift.
Yes, I facelifted a facelift.
Facelifted
That's
the
exactly
facelift.
what I did,
Okay,
yeah.
so this is why when I look at these cars that come from Japan, I get so confused and can't figure out what I'm looking at. Is because everyone's messing with them. That's what's happening here. So the RB26 came with the car.
Yes.
Which I imagine would be the hardest part of this job. What do you think? The putting this engine in this vehicle.
It's a pain in the ass, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It fits because the front end of a Sylvia is very similar to the front end of a Skyline. You can, in theory, put the subframe out of a Skyline into a Sylvia and the engine bolts in. But I can't do that.
Well, not this one, because look at what he's done to it. Like this. Does this look factory to you, David? This looks like it could run 24-inch alloys inside this wheel arch. That's not factory in the slightest. Is this factory, Stuart?
No.
Right, is this factory, Stuart?
That is, yeah.
Is this factory?
No.
What, these down here, the Citrad bits, like are these factory?
No.
Okay, what about this pulley?
No.
That's not factory. These suspension top mounts, are these factory? What about these strut braces?
No.
Those aren't even factory. Right, okay. I think what we've learned here is that there's not an awful lot of factory left on this vehicle.
Easy for you to say.
It is terrible for me to say. Okay, so you got it, engine was done, but then where did the work begin? So how long have you had the car?
I've had this car 6 years now.
6 years. And how long have you been actively drifting it?
Probably about 4. It took me
4.
about 2 years to build the car to a stage where I could actually drive it. And I've been about 4 years driving drift.
Did you do any grip work with it?
Never with this.
Never with this one?
I've done the odd track day. I've done, like, I had a shot at the oval I used to race on. I got to drive round. Crimmond Raceway, yeah. Or local raceway.
Local raceway near here. They've got lots of like old airstrips and airfields and stuff, and it looks like Crimmond was converted from
It was.
See, like, I'm
You're on all the
I'm
info
full of
today.
knowledge today. I'm all over it.
You googled everything, didn't
Right.
you? You was on a Google before.
I'm just all about the guesswork today. Right, so this is strawberry face conversion. RB26 was in it when you got it.
Yeah.
What else have you done? Because there's a lot going on here. Talk us through it.
So I basically changed everything. You want me to talk about the engine?
He's basically changed everything.
Yeah, just
Basically
everything.
changed. Give us some highlight. Right, okay, so assume that I am a total noob because I am a total noob and I don't know an awful lot about Japanese cars. These two bad boys right
Two
here.
pipes
Like
sticking
what?
out
What is
the
that?
top. So the wastegates that control the speed of the turbo, which control your boost pressure, they are vented out the bonnet because, you know, that's pretty cool and pretty drifty, and when they pop flames out through the bonnet, and
Actually,
I'm all about flames really.
Insert photo of Stuart's flames. Massive turbo. What is that?
That is a GT35. It is a Garrett turbo with a 0.82 turbine housing. So it's a big turbo. It's a big turbo.
Big one. You don't get those on any factory cars either. But that's and everything's heat wrapped as well, which is nice.
Yeah. The majority of race series, they run them through a silencer or run them back into the exhaust because that noise
they
limits.
just merge back into the main collection for the exhaust.
Drifting's about the only motorsport that gets away with still putting them out the bonnet. The only reason I can think of that is it's spectacular for the crowd. You know, it makes pops and bangs
It's
and
as much
flames. And it looks
spectator
cool.
sport
Yeah.
as anything else.
Drifting is much looking cool as it is actually competing.
If people will look at you and go, "Yeah, that's cool,"
That's what I've been doing.
no, what you've been doing is breaking it.
Yeah,
so
I break everything, yeah.
what has been your most recent failure?
Clutch. Yeah, I smashed a 800 pounds-feet rated clutch, which wasn't very nice.
Can we see it?
Yeah, absolutely. Will I go and get it? Will I retrieve it?
Let's just go and look at it.
So this is a clutch hub out of an extreme clutch, and the bit we need to look at is the center hub. Now I've got a. It's almost like I prepared this. It's almost like
he's ready to go.
So this is the input drive out of a gearbox on a Nissan Skyline, and this is the center of the hub, the clutch, that should engage into there. And
Look at it, it's all
yeah.
sheared off.
So the outer ring should be on there, but it's sheared completely off. So I've broken the center, clean out the clutch.
It's like fractured.
I think you can weld that back on.
It's absolutely sheared right off.
That's it. Fire up a TIG. Weld it back on. Jobs are good.
I took the gearbox out, and I was told that you can't break that part. So I took the gearbox out, I checked everything else.
Totally couldn't do it, so he decided he was going to put the extra effort in.
Yeah, no. If there's something they say can't break, I'm going to break it really. I put the gearbox back in, and it still wasn't any drive, so I had to pull the box out, and yeah, that was it.
So it's basically you can't possibly break that bit. It can't ever be that bit. Ta-da!
Yeah, I
There you go.
broke it.
Because that is not a it's not a flimsy piece of steel.
No.
It's like 5-6 mil steel, and it is being blown apart. Good job, well done.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If you're the only person that's done it, then that's impressive.
So that's more than 800 pounds-feet then.
Yeah. Well, at the time it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm running power. I'm about 600 horsepower. I'm running out of this, but the tires I'm running, the grip set up. At a certain point in the track, the torque could have went up above that.
Yeah,
in fact, that's
spiked up,
you know,
right.
it's like if
So
I get
it's
it
like a wheel is grabbed at some point, and that's what's.
if I was being a bit aggressive and smashed the clutch at a point it was gripping,
Yeah.
it could break the clutch rather than breaking traction. If
Right,
you know what I mean.
right. Man, just, like, you know, when the car rolls to a stop, we filmed that, didn't we? So we just saw the car roll into a stop, and then I can just imagine the face inside. It'd just be like just pain, just pain.
Not again.
Because again, another thing is broken. But you mentioned tyres, right? And these are massive. Now, these are.
That's a
They're
255.
88s as well. Those are like as slick as you're allowed to run on UK roads, and that's a 255 section. But you're not allowed to run 255s in competition in the UK, are you? What's the story there?
So different competitions have different grades and different tyres that you can use. So like SDC is a championship I'm starting off in.
Yep.
The Scottish round, you're not allowed to use wide tyres. You have to use a 225. So I run more like a 225 40. These are for the dyno.
Ah, where you want to get lots of grips so that you can tune it well
Yeah.
without
And
tyre slipping.
I've used them at Knock Hill as well. I did a little cheeky track day at Knock Hill. So I've used these at Knock Hill.
Oh, cheeky 600 odd
cheeky
horsepower track
cheeky
day just
track
in
day.
this thing. Nice.
It's quick. It's quick.
I imagine we've seen it. We've seen it be quick, and it's loud as well, which we like. I'm just gonna move this back over to join your collection here. Leave that right there. Can we have a look inside?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice. Well, we're now inside, and my first question is, what are these seats? Because my fat ass doesn't fit in Stuart's seats. Like, look, I'm like barely wedged in there. It is a serious problem for a man of my girth.
I'm just a little boy. I need a.
But that's good for racing. Yeah, that's good for racing. Like,
I was built for speed.
I've seen cool runnings, right, and they want light people in the bobsled. But this isn't a bobsled at all.
No,
this
it
is
is-
far
well, no.
from it. So who makes the seats?
So the one you're in is a Driftworks seat, which is Cobra manufactures that one.
Oh yes, and then Driftworks brand it and retail the bad boys.
Yeah, so it's just got a cool badge on it, but it's a Cobra seat.
So is that the same story as the Coilovers then?
So the Coilovers are HSD, which is a company that makes suspension. I think the kind of Driftworks that got with them to make the suspensions, but it's a brand. It's,
Right. So Driftworks, they don't own a factory which is making coilovers,
No.
but HSD do.
Yes.
Cobra also has a factory making seats, and Driftworks don't. So you put the Driftworks brand on another product, and then they sell them.
Yeah. Retail advice.
Yeah. Okay. Really think we're going to get any of that today either. Okay, and you've got a different seat. Do you have to swap them out because of regs or something?
I
like
just
that?
fancied an OMP seat for my drivers. When I first built the car, I had two Driftworks ones in it.
Yeah.
But I just fancied an OMP for the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I didn't see the need to have matching, although it probably looks better. But I like this seat. It's a
I
comfy
approve
seat.
of that practicality, that pragmatism. As long- I don't really need matching seats. It's fine because otherwise it's just pure. When there's money to be spent on clutches instead.
The real story is I built the RX-8 and I didn't have a seat for it. So I decided to steal this seat for the RX-8.
Ah, okay. So now you've got.
Then I had, well, I'm going to buy another seat. I might as well buy
Might
an
as well buy a good
OMP.
one,
And,
yeah.
you know. Can I point out the most pointless thing that I've ever done in a car in my life?
Okay, you're not going to ask me to get in the back seat or something, are you?
No. I'm going to point out this thing up here. Now this is my carbon fibre roof vent.
That is custom.
So, like, that's cut out. There's a hole cut in the roof, and that's like a sucky vent that's on the roof, right?
Carbon fibre vent. I'm going to assume that was the carbon
that
fibre
was a
vent.
carbon fibre vent, right? Now, that's great if you're going straight ahead. But this is a drift car.
So straight ahead would be no use because you can't get. There's no air coming in the
There's no air
sides.
coming when you're going sideways.
So did you have to modify this then?
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't. In a straight line, a little bit of air comes through.
Oh, so literally you're going to get the merest like tinkle of air, but you're not actually going to be cooled at all by it.
So when you're going straight ahead, there's air comes through into the car, but when you're drifting, it doesn't really do anything.
Do you find you get smoke in the car as well? Because I've noticed. Like, I'm just going to turn my ass round. There's nothing left in here. Interior wise, it's all gone. But your side panels, you've got all your carbon fibre. I'm going to call. I can't tell if it's carbon fibre or not. We'll assume
Carbon
it's-
fibre looking panels.
We'll assume this. You've got carbon fibre looking panels at the back there. We won't ask any more questions on that. But it looks like you've sealed off most of the gaps where your old panels would be. Does that stop all of the smoke coming in?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I've seen some guys driving around with like a car full of smoke. Kev K is one fella who the car just bright yellow BMW and it's always full of smoke. Is that a common thing?
It's not bad. It's not bad. With the back being cut away, it like creates a low pressure. It kind of gets the smoke out the back, but it's not been too bad. I've had a little smoke in the car, but it's never. I've never like been I can't see and I've had to stop and
crashed into someone.
Crash into somebody because I can't see. You know.
Talk me through your controls.
So like disco stick 1 and disco stick 2.
My first point is most people don't have disco stick 1 and 2. They only have disco stick 1. So why do you have 2?
So this is the lever, the gear lever for the Samsonis. I'm sure that's the pronunciation of it. I don't know.
That is how I'll pronounce it from now on.
It's got a sequential box in the car. So this is the shifter for the sequential. Is that you stroking my shaft?
Is that mortgage? I'm just merely tickling it in its presence. That's a house deposit, if I'm not.
Yeah, it's expensive. It was expensive. It was worth it. So it's cool.
Well, it's very cool because there's not an awful lot of cars running it. Certainly the drift events we'll go to.
It'll handle 1500 horsepower, so I'm hoping that'll be enough to not break it, you know? Overspec it a little bit.
You'll never have to break a gearbox. At least that part you don't even worry about now.
I'm glad you said it now. I feel like it's going to happen.
I know.
You'll never break a gearbox
You'll never
now.
break a gearbox now.
That'll never happen.
I've probably got a lifetime warranty on it anyway, these like things. So you've got disco stick 1 and 2. That I'm going to assume is hydro, but this is a more complex hydro setup than I have ever seen in my life. What is all of that?
So I've got separate calipers for the handbrake. You find in systems where you're like using one set of calipers for your braking and your hydraulic handbrake, if you like pull on the lever then have to step on the foot brake, you can sometimes lock the brakes up and it's not fantastic. So I've got a inconsistency. Good word, I like that. Inconsistency, yeah. So, because I'm running 2 separate systems, you've got 4 calipers, 2 for the hydro and 2 for the back brakes.
He's got a lot of calipers on the back. We'll see shortly. He's got a lot of the calipers. Okay, so completely independent braking systems for the hydraulic handbrake, which is a more luxurious way of doing it. And so the door handle, what's with the door handle?
This is a line lock. So you put your foot in a brake, you close that, and that's your handbrake really, just a parking brake.
And then if you want to release the handbrake to leave, just pull the door handle round and you get full control of your brakes again.
And that's brake bias.
You've got brake bias?
Yeah, so adjusts the front and back brake bias.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the most complicated brakes I've seen, like, ever. Like, I've not been in a lot of, like, race cars, and I'm going to say that this is race car.
It's a race car.
There's so much going on here. I mean, look at the coolant pipes. And the brake pipes. And everything is braided. Absolutely everything is being detailed. Like we've seen under your bonnet earlier on, and all of your hoses are all properly fitted. There's no like cable ties and Jubilee clips around little silicon clamps. Everything's got proper fittings on it. You've obviously spent a long time and a lot of money prepping this. It's very, very impressive. Who spray painted your roll cage?
It's actually the roll cage was painted when the car first got painted with a friend called Norman. He used to be Norland Auto Bodies, but he's got his own shop now. We've got our own painter we use now, a local guy called SDC Legend Stephen Black.
SDC Legend Stephen Black, we've seen him.
He didn't actually paint the car. He's going to paint the outside eventually, but he didn't paint this car.
Has he been busy?
He's always busy.
That's a good thing. That means he must be good.
Hopefully I'm going to take it out for another shot to test it after the engine work we've done. And then just after that we'll put it into paint, I think.
And then it'll be ready for show season, hopefully.
Car shows.
Ready to take it to car shows. Next question. There's a vital piece of equipment that's missing from your drift car here.
What's that?
Can anyone guess what it is?
Oh, that's how I drive it. You're not seeing a steering wheel like that. That's how I drive it.
That's like you must have like 4 arms like Iron Man. You can hold on to that. Yeah, so removable steering wheel. Someone's next to it. It'll be among the trash. Somewhere. He's found it.
It's okay, we'll let it out and it'll look really smooth and swish and there you go. And of course it had to be an Nardi. I mean, what else kind of steering wheel are you going to put on a drift car,
I don't know what a Nardi is. Educate me on Nardi.
It's probably like an Italian design steering wheel, but it's like a scene thing. It's like drift drivers all have Nardi wheels.
Okay,
The comments will go crazy with that.
Okay, so I don't have a Nardi wheel, like, and I'm just learning to drift. So do I need to get one?
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, well this also says Driftworks. Does that mean that this is Nardi that's made it and Driftworks is branded it?
Driftwork actually did a deal with Nardi to make wheels.
Driftworks is in everything. Their finger is in every pie. Oh, do they make a Driftworks fire suppression system?
They don't, but they sell them.
They do sell them. Okay. I noticed there's a few levers in here that I need to ask about. Like there's that red one down there. You should always pull a red lever. What's that do?
That sits off the fire suppression system.
Okay, so that was neat segue because I thought that's what that was.
Yes.
I thought it was the fire suppression system. What happens when you pull it?
It's just behind your back, actually.
Okay, so the tank's in there. And where does it hose out of? What does it suppress?
There's a nozzle down at my feet. There's a nozzle in the engine bay, and there's a nozzle in the fuel pump.
So it just hoses water wherever?
Everything. Foam.
Foam?
Yeah.
How long have you had that?
I've had that since I built the car 4 years ago. Where's this going?
There's a picture circulating the internet.
There's a video.
You know, there was definitely some heat emanating from the vehicle.
There was a big
Judge
fire.
for yourselves.
It was a pretty big fire, yeah.
Where was your fire suppression on that one? Were you saving it?
It didn't work. It didn't work. The pins didn't line up properly, and when I pulled the lever, I just pulled out the dash. That's why it's hard. it's hard mounted down there now. So when you pull on it, it actually works.
All you did was, like, in the event of a fire, what you did was just rip it off. Adrenaline's flowing, and
how do you test a fire suppression system? I mean, it's not like you can just like test it in the workshop. You know?
I don't know if because then you'd have to clean that up. You don't want to.
It made such a mess, the fire extinguishers. I mean, I know it stopped the fire, which was an important thing, but it's my window chamois.
You don't have a switch for that?
I don't have heating.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah, because, like,
there's nothing behind that dashboard other than horrible wires.
Like, I can see, like, it still says SRS airbag. Is that a lie?
That's a lie, yes.
That is a lie. What is your favourite gauge? Look at all of that.
Oh, wait.
Oh, disco.
That's my favourite gauge.
All of them. So you've got oil pressure, I imagine water and oil temp.
So the two top ones are oil, the bottom one's water, and that's my electric water pump control that's switched on the water pump there. The rear mounted electric water pump, and it's controlled with that controller there. It's a good bit of kit. It's Davis Craig makes that.
But everything's changed. Like your dashboard is totally custom, but then the original ECU is gone anyway, so you can...
all original wiring's out the car. All original wiring's gone.
Everything's out.
Everything's out.
So have you had this back to a bare shell at some point?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
How did you, like, what were the series of life choices that brought you to that,
terrible
to that
life choices, like the worst life choices ever, ruin your life, that. I bought the car from Wales. Actually, a guy in Wales that had it. I still follow the guy, that he still follows the car and comments on it and that, but...
Every time you set it on fire, he's like, hey!
Yeah, that's my car on fire. But he broke the gearbox in it and decided to break it, and that's how I ended up with the car. He was about to just break it up, and I'm like, no, don't do that. I'll take that.
I'll have it.
Back when you could afford a Sylvia for decent money.
Yeah, because you can't do that anymore. You can't get them.
But like £6 million to buy the same thing now, you know, it's like, so prices are so expensive. That was an over-exaggerated
that was just not £1 million. Let's exit the vehicle, and you can maybe show me some other stuff that's on. If I can get out. I need an adult!
I don't know if I can get out.
The problem is, like, so I've now learned that Driftworks don't make these seats, but Driftworks market the seats, and they're made by Cobra. Cobra make the seats, and then Driftworks retail them.
Right.
But my fat ass can't get in the seat, so I've been sitting with my leg on a bolster this whole time while I'm asking him dumb questions about his car. Oh,
You've made it out.
so this thing is fully caged, welded in, but at what point do you need to have a cage?
Cage is, I think everybody, if you're doing any kind of motorsport kind of thing, like even driving in track, it's a good thing to have a roll cage because it's you only got one life, you know.
Yeah,
but
you never know when the worst going to happen.
this car's built to British Drift Championship regs or 2006 British Drift Championship regs.
So they require weld-in cages?
Yes.
Or, oh no, I think they still allow some bolt-in cages.
But they're to a certain spec.
Yeah.
You need door bars is the main thing.
Because it's like, I guess I've seen people doing lots of like gusseting and stuff
Yes.
like that on.
So the only thing that's stopping this from BDC legal is the gussets, and like go in here,
Yeah.
which I'll have to get welded in if I want to compete at BDC.
Will a cage like that, will that add stiffness to the vehicle as well?
Absolutely. Yeah,
So like, our cars have got strut braces on them, but this is like a whole other
it's
level.
like an entire chassis brace. I mean, if you look up here, it's tacked to the top of the
Oh, it's
roof,
actually
and
joined.
it's
joined.
joined, yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice and tight to the
Fabric
panels
cage do
as
a
well.
really,
So
really neat kit. So when like you get it all in just bent pipes and they fit really well.
they just snug in. And you did that yourself as well.
With help from a welder, yeah.
Welding on the car. I mean, it's had a lot of welding. Have you done much of this yourself?
All of it. Just about
Done
all
all
of it.
of
I've some of like the exhaust work and that. I've
Yeah.
external welders I've got to do, but the chassis is my work.
Bravo. That's what we like. Built, not bought. Literally, built, not bought.
It's a bit amateur, but it holds together. It hasn't fallen apart
brilliant.
yet.
Like I would far rather have a go than just buy something that's off the shelf, even if it's less good. Like I think it's far more noble to have a go and build it yourself. And then what you end up with is a bit more. It's a bit more your own.
Yeah.
I'm just now noticing the collection of brake calipers that you spoke about earlier. I'm going to get out of the way and let Dave in. So, which one's which? One of these is obviously handbrake only.
So these
What's
are
happening here?
These are the brakes. These are the handbrake. The only difference between the calipers is the size of pistons. There's smaller pistons in the back brakes than there is in the caliper for the handbrake.
And did you have to get new brackets fabricated up to put them on, or is there a kit that fits the hubs?
It was a kit that came over from America. This is when Formula D was first. Formula D.
Oh, Formula D! Oh, it's this Formula D spec rear brakes.
This is when they were first starting to run 4 brake calipers in the back. It's I got the kit over from America with the bracket and with the Wilwood discs and calipers.
And then put on. Whoa! CGI
Jazz hands.
sparkles on the back of it. Right, so I guessed correctly that this was GTR rear suspension. So what am I looking at? Right, so this is your rear mount radiator. Do you say you fabricated this?
So
yourself,
this
these
is
brackets
a
and stuff?
local company called Callum
This is Callum Hayes.
Callum Hayes Fabrication, who bent and cut the Pro307 out of this for me. It's made of like a decent thickness steel to mount these big fans.
Yeah.
They put out I think they're about 1500 CFM each. So they're like gale force wind kind
Gale
of.
force wind fans, and again, here's the fittings that I was talking about earlier on. Everything is neatly done.
That is an electric water pump.
Is this? I was going to say, is this an extra turbo?
That's the turbo for the cooling system.
Oh, I've got some of your paint in my eyeball, but I'll manage.
Don't rub it.
Just rub it right in. Wow, so is this a new subframe that you had to swap
that is
out?
a original S14 subframe, but it's been strengthened, blasted.
Oh yeah, look at
painted.
the extra bars that are on the.
Yeah,
I wonder if we need to do that,
it's
because
got.
people keep telling us that we're going to ruin drive shafts and diffs, and I
Okay.
wonder whether or not this is on the Subaru.
Oh yeah, you're thinking about changing diffs, yeah.
So I'm just wondering whether we just, do what, similar to this, we're weld in the extra sections to give it more strength so it
Yeah.
doesn't flex. Your exhaust has too many silencers in for my taste.
Yeah, it's to meet Driftland regulations.
Jeek with his noise meter.
Yeah, Jeep gets He gets that now with his noise meter.
Well, it's not GK anymore now. Rennie's taken over.
Rennie's-
He's now noise police. He's
Noise police, I like
police,
that.
Yeah. Fitment police and noise
Fitment
police.
and noise police.
I've got an observation here. It's missing a thing.
it's
So for safety reasons, I just like to highlight that to the next scrutineer that has a look at this car.
That's a warranty up the.
It is. The warranty's done for now.
It's done now.
Rear diff.
That is a Skyline GTR rear diff.
From which Skyline?
I think it's an R32 because it's diff, shafts, and bearings are out of a GTR,
And
it's a CAS LSD.
oh, so this is an LSD. This, I suppose, yeah, because you're at the level now where you're not rubbing scrubby welded diff anymore. Right, I'm ready to come out from underneath here. No welded diff on this bad boy.
No,
This is who makes the diff?
It's a company called CAS.
CAS.
It's a Japanese manufacturer.
Yeah. So did you have to import that, or did you manage to find someone?
Driftworks, believe it or not.
Yet again. This car is a rolling advert for Driftworks. They should be giving you stickers. In fact, Driftworks sponsorship. Sponsors. Have they imported the diff and then what? Just bolt straight into existing mounts, or was the fabrication needed again?
It's just direct placement.
So once you go down the Nissan S body and Skyline chassis route, it sounds like you've got like unlimited options.
Oh yeah.
Provided you have unlimited funds.
Yes, at the moment that is, yeah, unlimited funds.
Because it seems to me that this is one of the most expensive paths to go down is the Nissan route.
Oh yeah.
Or big 2GZ or something like that. So I think I understand why it takes a long time to build a car to this spec. Oh. Is it finished?
It's a bit, well, it's just a skin of carbon fibre, that's all it is.
Can I hold it?
Yeah, you can.
Good grief. The heaviest part on it is the locks.
Yeah, it's the light in the back.
Oh yeah,
It's
because
just a show.
it's still got. What's that? Well, I'll let you put that somewhere safe. Right, so that's the other side of the rear mounted radiator. Why is rear mounted radiator a thing? Like we see it a lot, but why do people switch to rear mount?
It's just purely to get more weight over the back wheels, really. It's just to.
It's a weight thing.
Yeah, it doesn't. For me, it was like get the heat away from the engine bay.
That was my
sense,
assumption.
But there is people still running front-mounted radiators, and they work just as well. It's more weight. You need more weight over the back wheels. You're trying to tame 600 horsepower. It's.
Every little helps to move it further back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tanks over on the right hand side there as well. Where's your fuel? Is that a swirl as well? Yeah.
Yes, so that's Sunny Surge.
Is that standard fuel tank?
It's actually a standard fuel tank.
Still using a standard fuel tank, just with a slightly different
I've made
entry to it.
yeah.
And your fuel lab's that oh no, that's pump.
So that's a primary pump. There's a pump inside the tank that lifts into the swirl pot.
Yeah.
Then there's the fuel labs. It's an 800 horsepower rated pump. The car's spec'd to handle more.
Yeah, but I guess with all the stuff that you've had to do, you've just found the weak point and then
Moved
upgraded
on.
again.
Yeah, and broke it.
And broke it
Yeah.
again and again and again and again.
Yeah, broke everything.
But hopefully that's the end of it now though. So when you so paint, it needs paint.
I'm going to take it out again. I'm going to take it out before paint.
Is he going to take your stickers off?
We're going to do new stickers.
Ooh, new stickers.
New stickers. You heard it here first.
New stickers.
The first proper drift event's either going to be SDC Round 1,
Yeah.
which is on the same day as Drift Cup. If I get tickets to Drift Cup, I'm going to Drift Cup.
Okay. Oh, to get into Drift Club, do you have to apply for Drift Cup? How does that work?
Drift Cup now has like a seeded and non-seeded
Ah, right.
So the Saturday is for anybody who can turn up and compete at Drift Cup, and the Sunday is for Drift Cup seeded drivers, that are championship drivers. So if you do well on the Saturday, you can get onto the Sunday, and if you do well on the Sunday, you can get into British Drift, and if you do well at British Drift, you can get into other stuff. You know,
it's another funnel in.
Yeah. You can't just turn up to like a lot of racing. You pay the money, you turn up and you race touring cars. You can't. You have to prove you're good enough to drive.
Because otherwise, you just get in people's way. Anything still to do before then?
I've got some power steering work to do, and I've got an exhaust mount to go on, but it's kind of it.
6 years to get to this point. And do you think this is it now? Is there anything else that you can think of that you're going to have to do mid-season?
I hope it's it. I'm bloody skint.
That's it, there's nothing left.
I've got no money left.
Nothing left. Like, he's only got one kidney left, and then that's it. Can't drink, can't smoke, can't go out. This is an awesome machine, and it's a pleasure to pour over it and point at it and ask
pleasure to
questions
drive.
and stuff.
It's a pleasure to drive.
Well, we've seen it. In fact, Big Dave's been in it.
He has. He
There
has.
was the first time we saw Stuart. We were doing a bit of filming, and we just thought, we'll film your car. We'll send you the footage for Stuart's own channel, which is Pro307 on YouTube, and you should definitely subscribe. Seamless segue. But on that day, he said he isn't doing any ride-alongs because the car was just out for basic testing, and before he knew it, Big Dave's in the passenger seat going.
The interesting thing about Crail was because we were up in higher gears and higher speeds, it wasn't such a problem because we were in the mid-range in like 4th gear and 5th gear, which was with Dave.
Yeah.
It worked okay, but I can't wait to drive it like this. It's going to be awesome.
Godspeed, Stuart. It's going to be amazing. How long till you're out for the first play date?
We're not sure. I've got SDC legend Stephen Black harassing me for like booking a day where we can do some
committing
team
to
practice,
something. Yeah.
And once I get this with you guys done today, and I take a week off because I'm done,
It can be rolled out.
Yeah, and we got something done today, and
That'll be awesome.
you know, so we should
We changed the spring.
change the spring.
Yeah.
I did a whole.
That was our contribution. We came all this way and we changed the spring, and we didn't even really change it. We just kind of took part.
We were there.
That's awesome. This car is tremendous. If you want to see more of Stuart's car and his build and other stuff that he's working on, hit him up on Pro307 on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. He won't say subscribe because he's too noble for that, but I'll say subscribe.
Subscribe to my channel,
Please. Maybe he's not noble enough. Awesome car. Thanks for letting us have a look at it.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks for coming along.
Goodbye, everyone. Laters.
Bye, internet.